Hello everyone and welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. I thank you for your love and for your support. In today's video, I am going to be showing you how to cut and sew an off-shoulder sleeve. So you can see this beautiful off-shoulder sleeve. That's what we are going to learn how to do today. So if you are new to my channel, you're welcome. If you have not subscribed already, please, I would appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button. Please subscribe to my channel. It actually takes notes. And then please also like this video. Just give this video a thumbs up. I will really appreciate it. And then if you want to register for my online classes for this month, which I normally run every month, you can just see my number scrolling through the screen on the description box. Send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll give you the details of the classes we have presently available. Okay guys, so let's just get started straight into the tutorial. So I'm going to use my dress form to illustrate how this kind of sleeve is done. So I'll just do that right now. Okay guys, so here is my dress form. So when you want to make this kind of off shoulder sleeve, here is what you are going to do. You can see the lines already on my dress form. So this is the shoulder line. So from this point, that's the neck point line to this point. So this is what you are going to measure. You are going to take your tape like this for you to know how wide your off shoulder sleeve will be. So you can see, just take your tape like this here, and then you place it up to this point. So you can see we have 9 inches here. So that is what you are going, that's the kind of strap that you are going to use. If you want to use an elastic, the same inches of elastic, that's what you are going to use. So if you are using this, you can see that my tape is standing straight like this, so the off shoulder sleeve is going to be firm. But if you want those kind of off shoulder sleeves that falls down, you can decide to do this. You can just decide to release it a little bit. So when you release it, that's this. I'm just teaching you. This is not what we are doing for today. I'm just explaining this. So if you want those other kind of off shoulder sleeves that normally falls down, you can see that will stay like this. That stays like this. You are just going to measure from this point to this point and then just give it a little bit of allowance. But if you want a firm one, so I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to be using 9 inches. So that 9 inches is going to be the strap that is going to be inside of our sleeve. So I'm going to cut it out right now. Okay guys, so the first thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out that strap. So like I explained earlier, the strap is actually 9 inches, but I'm not going to cut it exactly 9 inches because I'm going to add an elastic band to it. You can make it without an elastic, but it is easier and better for you to use an elastic, so that will help it for you to stretch. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fold that 9 inches. I'm going to use 18 inches for the strap. So by the time I put my elastic, it will just help me to snap it however I want it. So this is my 16 inches. That's 8 plus 8, 16. So depends on how wide I want it to be. So I'm just going to go with 3 inches. So I want you to note what I'm doing. You will see that what I'm doing is not entirely straight. Okay, it's a little bit curved, so it helps it to sit properly. So I'm going to cut this out now. So I'll show you how to sew the elastic on this. So this is just like the major work of this. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out the fabric that I'm going to use to pleat. So for the fabric that I'm going to use to pleat, since I'm using 9 inches, so I can decide to increase it, which is about 18 inches. Depends on how wide I want my pleat to be. If I want, that's how full rather. If I want it to be fuller than usual, I can decide to use about 20 inches of fabric. Okay, so I'll just use what I have here on my pattern paper is about 18. So when I'm transferring to my fabric, I'll increase it. I'll use about 20, between 20 or 22, depends on how full and how much fabric you have. So that is what you will use. So for the wideness also, you are going to determine how wide you actually want it to be. So for this, I'm going to use about 8 inches. So after stitching it reduces to, sorry, I'll use about 9 inches. So after stitching and turning, it reduces to about 8 inches. So when I cut out, so this is about the length that I want. So I tried this earlier. So at the end of the day, when you now pleat after stitching, we're just going to pleat this and we'll place it on our elastic strap at the center like this. So because of that curve, you are going to have something of this kind of effect, but if it is straight, it's just going to be standing straight. Okay, so but because of the curve that we added, you are going to have a little bit of curve. So this is how it's going to stay. So I'm going to transfer this now to my fabric. I'll cut out one for my fabric, and then I'll cut this on my lining piece, and then I'll sew all of the four edges and turn it. And then this, I'll show you how to achieve our strap, how to make the elastic. So we'll do that on the machine, and then we'll come back and couple the sleeve together. Okay guys, so this is my strap. So I'll divide it into two, so to make it easier for me. And then I'll cut out an elastic. So I've cut out elastic. I'm actually using those big elastic. So I cut out about 6 inches, so you can see. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this elastic, and then I'm going to place it here like this. I'm going to secure it. So I'm stitching it on top of each other. I'm going to just run a stitch like this, just like to close the edge. Okay. And then after that, I'm going to close this other side. So you can see it came down a little bit. So I'm going to seal this part. That's like stitch it and close it. So after that, I'm going to turn this now. It's my elastic. My elastic is still inside. So I'm going to turn this. So you can even decide to stitch the elastic on top. That's just stitch it, but this one is neater. So that's why I'm just showing you how to do this. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold this inside like this. So I'm just trying to fold. That's after turning it. I'll fold. The elastic is still dangling inside. I'll fold the two edges together, and then I'm going to seal it down. But my elastic is still inside. So I'll seal it. I'll do that right. So make sure don't stitch on top of the elastic. So note what I'm going to do. So before I get to the end, I'm going to pull my elastic. So I just put my hand inside, and then I'll pull my elastic out. I don't want to finish sealing it. If not, I'll not be able to pull it. So I'm holding my elastic, and then I'm still stitching the edge. That's the two edges. I'm stitching them together. Okay. Just to give it a nice clean finishing. So once I get to this other edge, I'm going to step it down. So I'll turn my machine, and then this other side also I'm going to tuck it in. If you cannot tuck it in, you can decide to leave it that way, and then I'm going to give it a really strong stitch. So I'm going to show you what I have now. So at the end of the day, so you see what I have. You see my strap. It is neat and it is closed. So the next thing, I will go over to the machine. I've turned the fabric and the lining. I'll show you how to attach it to the strap that we have created. Okay, so guys, here's my fabric and my lining. So my fabric was not very long, so I had to join it at the center, which is okay. So this here is the strap that I made, like I showed you earlier. The next thing now is just for me to pleat this at the center. So just take an eyeball of the center part of the fabric, and then just give it pleats. Depends on how big you want your pleat to be. So that is what you will use. So like I said, depends on how full you want this to be. So after pleating, I'm going to have something like this. And then the next thing I'm just going to take, so I'm showing you on the right side so you understand. I'm going to take my strap like this, the edge of my strap, and then I'm going to stitch it down. That's on the center, that's the back. I'll stitch it here, and then I'll make sure I pack everything like this. Let's see the inside, and then I'll stitch here. So I'm not stitching. It's not like I'm stitching. I'm not stitching it down. So it's just my pleat. I'm going to go and stitch down, and then this is going to stitch here, and then stitch here. So I'll do that and then bring it back. Okay, so you can see I've secured it down. So you see how it looks. So this is my strap, like I was explaining. I'll take the strap. So I'll just from that center, I'll just secure it on one side like this to this other side, so you can see how it is looking. You see it's like almost folding it together, but no problem, just take it to the other edge, and then I'm going to secure it down on the other side. So I'll place it on the mannequin now for you to see how it looks on it. Okay guys, so at the end of the day, you can see how our off shoulder sleeve looks like. So if you want yours to be fuller, you can increase the wideness of the fabric. You know, I used about 20 inches, so you can make yours 25, you can make it 30. And then if you want it wider or reduce, just reduce the measurements. I used 9 inches, so you can reduce it or increase it. So thank you so much, guys. So at the end of the day, you can see how it looks like. You just tack it here and here. So thank you so much. Please hit on the like button of this video. I would appreciate it. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.